Dear students, I am going to start to explain you about the fifth chapter through the eyes of travelers. It is especially related with the society from 10th to 17th century. During this period, three very famous travelers from different parts of the world came to India and wrote their accounts. First one was them Al-Baruni, second one was them Ibn Battuta, and third one was them Francis Bernier. Okay, so in this chapter we shall see how our knowledge of the past can be enriched through the accounts which were written by the different types of scholars, different types of travelers who came to India and who wrote about the different perspective of our country. First of them, Al-Baruni, who came from Uzbekistan in 11th century. Second one is Ibn Battuta, who came from Morocco in 14th century. Francois Bernier, the French person who came in 17th century. Okay, so Al-Baruni and Kitabul Hind. Al-Baruni is very famous because he wrote his famous book Kitabul Hind about India. Let's get some introduction about the Al-Baruni. From Khwarizm to Punjab. Al-Baruni was born in 973 in Khwarizm, present-day Uzbekistan. Khwarizm was a very famous center for the education, for the art and cultural activities. So, Al-Baruni got the best education of his time. He was acquainted with so many languages like Syriac, Arabic, Persian, Hebrew and Sanskrit also. Although he did not know Greek, he was familiar with the works of Plato and other Greek philosophers also. And he also knew about all these things because he was able to read its Arabic translations. So it means that because he was having the vast knowledge of different types of languages, that's why he was able to read all these things very easily and he was able to enrich his knowledge. In 1017, when Sultan Mahmud Ghaznavi invaded Khwarizm, he took several scholars and poets back to his capital, Ghazni. Ghazni was the capital of Mahmud Ghaznavi, that's why he is called Mahmud Ghaznavi. Al-Baruni was one of them. He arrived in Ghazni as a hostage but gradually developed a liking for the city where he spent the rest of his life until his death at the age of 70. So he became the courtesan of the Mahmud Ghaznavi because of his knowledge. What is Kitabul Hind, or what is the main content of Kitabul Hind? Kitabul Hind is written in Arabic. It is a very vivid and descriptive type of text. It has 80 chapters which are based on philosophy, festivals, alchemy, customs, rituals, social life, economic life, cultural life, and different types of things. One more important thing is here I will tell you. Kitabul Hind was translated into English by E.C. Sachau. This question came in so many competitive exams also. So you must remember it. It was translated by E.C. Sachau in English. Next topic is making sense of an alien world, Al-Baruni and the Sanskritic tradition. Al-Baruni was in practice with so many Brahmins in India. He got the chance to meet the Brahmins and he got the main knowledge of Sanskrit text through the different types of Brahmin groups. Okay, that's why he was able to describe India in different type of manners. Al-Baruni was aware of the problems inherent in the task he had set himself. He discussed several barriers that he felt obstructed understanding. When he came to India, he had to face so many barriers, hurdles to understand about India. Okay, तो यहाँ पर क्वेश्चन भी बनता है, व्हाट वेयर दी बैरियर्स फेस्ड बाय द अल-बरूनी. तो पहला जो बैरियर था अल-बरूनी के सामने था लैंग्वेज बैरियर. ये लिखा हुआ फर्स्ट पॉइंट में. द फर्स्ट बैरियर वाज द लैंग्वेज, because according to him Sanskrit was so different from Arabic and Persian that ideas and concepts could not be easily translated from one language into another. So it was difficult for him in the early time to understand Sanskrit and write his accounts. Second barrier उसके सामने था to understand different types of religious beliefs and practices, because in India there were so many religions, there were so many religious practices, so many customs were there. So it was hard for him to understand these type of rituals and customs and what are their importance. So second barrier was the religious beliefs and practices. And third barrier for him, the self observation and consequent insularity of the local population, according to him, constituted the third barrier. Self observation means the people of India were in always in thought that they were best in the world. Okay, so because India was not very much in touch with the other countries in that time, so they were just praising themselves only. So this was the third barrier for the अल-बरूनी. तो ये क्वेश्चन इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसको आप लिखेंगे. अल-बरूनी wrote some important facts about India. One of the most important facts about his accounts is caste system description. What he wrote about the caste system in India. In spite of his acceptance of the Brahmanical description of the caste system, Al-Baruni disapproved of the notion of pollution. What does it mean? Al-Baruni disapproved the notion of pollution because his earlier thinking about the Indian society was based on the Brahmanical text, and Brahmanical texts were based on the four Varnas: Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya and Shudras. So in that type of classification, Sudras were considered in the lowest category. But Al-Baruni did not adopt this. He said that anything which is impure, try to get the purity. यहाँ लिखा हुआ है सेकेंड लाइन में देखिएगा आप. He remarked that everything which falls into a state of impurity strives and succeeds in regaining its original condition of purity. For example, the sun cleanses the air and the salt in the sea prevents the water from becoming polluted. If it were not so, insisted Al-Baruni, life on the earth would have been impossible. उसने एग्जाम्पल भी दिया कि हर ऐसी चीज़ जो इम्प्योर होती है नेचर में, वो अपने आप को प्योर करने का प्रयास करती है. ठीक है, तो इसलिए उसने किसी भी वर्ण को इम्प्योर नहीं माना. What he said about caste system ahead. As we have seen, Al-Baruni's description of the caste system was deeply influenced by his study of standard Sanskrit text, which laid down the rules governing the system from the point of view of the Brahmins. However, in real life, this system was not so much rigid as it was written in the Brahmanical text, because you must have known about this. In the Brahmanical text, it was said that the Sudras were not considered in any type of social activity, religious activity or any economic activity. But in reality, this Varna system was not so much rigid. The use of Sudras, the role of the lowest category of the society were involved in the economic activities. यहाँ लिखा हुआ है, in other words, while they were often subjected to social oppression, they were included with economic networks. So, although it was possible that the Sudras or other lower categories, they were not given the equal type of social status, but they were involved in the economic activities. So, we cannot say that any type of varna or any type of category was totally boycotted in that type of society. Now, the next traveler who came to India in 14th century was Ibn Battuta. ओके, ये आप देखिए इब्न बतूता की एक इमेज बनी हुई है. टोटल उसने 75,000 माइल्स 44 कंट्रीज 29 ईयर्स में ट्रैवल किए. सोचिए आप, इतनी ज़्यादा उसने ट्रैवलिंग की थी इब्न बतूता ने, इसलिए उसको क्या कहा जाता है, ग्लोब ट्रॉटर. इब्न बतूता एन अर्ली ग्लोब ट्रॉटर. इब्न बतूता ने जो बुक लिखी उसका नाम था रिहला, ये लिखा हुआ है. इब्न बतूता's बुक ऑफ ट्रेवल्स कॉल्ड रिहला, written in Arabic, provides extremely rich and interesting details about the social and cultural life in the subcontinent in the 14th century. He came from Morocco, a African country, in 14th century. True to the tradition of his family, Ibn Battuta received literary and scholastic education when he was quite young. So Ibn Battuta भी एक ऐसी फैमिली से आया था जो एक एजुकेटेड फैमिली थी, लिटरेरी लेवल हाई था. सो इब्न बतूता वाज एबल टू राइट हिज अकाउंट्स इन वेरी गुड मैनर. ही came to India in 1333. Traveling overland through Central Asia, the Ibn Battuta reached Sindh in 1333 in the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was the Sultan of Delhi, and his image was like that. He was very generous and patron of the different types of scholars. Muhammad bin Tughlaq स्कॉलर्स की, ट्रेवलर्स की काफ़ी रिस्पेक्ट करता था, ऐसा इब्न बतूता ने सुन रखा था. सुल्तान वॉज वेरी मच इम्प्रेस्ड बाय द स्कॉलरशिप एंड द नॉलेज ऑफ इब्न बतूता, एंड ही अपॉइंटेड हिम द काजी और जज ऑफ दिल्ली. इब्न बतूता रिमेन्ड दिस पोजीशन फॉर सेवरल ईयर्स. ओके, in 1342 he was ordered to go to China as Sultan's envoy. सोचिए आप, इब्न बतूता की कैपेसिटी से, उसके नॉलेज से इतना ज़्यादा प्रभावित हुआ मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक कि उसने इब्न बतूता को स्पेशल एनवॉय बना के, अपना दूत बना करके चाइना में मंगोल रूलर के पास 1342 में भेजा था. इब्न बतूता's ट्रेवल जो इंडिया में उसने किया, उसके बारे में उसने क्या लिखा है वो हम डिस्कस करते हैं. इब्न बतूता's detailed record is given in Rihla, which was translated into English by Mehdi Hussain. We need to very much bear in this mind that this global trotter came to India in 14th century, and he roamed around the different parts of the world when there was no any speed type of transportation was available. So it was very dangerous and hazardous to travel in that time. He was attacked by different types of robbers. In fact, he preferred traveling in a कारवा. कारवा means group में चलना, along with companions, but this does not deter highway robbers. ये भी बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट 1 मार्क का क्वेश्चन कि कौन से ट्रैवलर को कई बार भारत में और अदर पार्ट्स में उसको लूटा गया या उसके साथ डकैती की गई. तो इब्न बतूता के ऊपर कई बार रॉबर्स का, डकैतों का हमला हुआ था. इब्न बतूता ने लिखा है, It took 40 days to travel from Multan to Delhi and about 50 days from Sindh to Delhi. The distance from Daulatabad to Delhi was covered in 40 days, while that from Gwalior to Delhi took 10 days. अब आप सोचिए, ग्वालियर से दिल्ली जाने में आज हम ट्रेन से कितनी जल्दी पहुंच जाते हैं, और फ्लाइट से तो और कुछ घंटे में, 1.5 घंटे में ही पहुंच जाते हैं हम। लेकिन उस समय 40 से 50 दिन दिल्ली से मुल्तान और दिल्ली से दौलताबाद जाने में लगते थे। तो इब्न बतूता ने कई सालों तक ये ट्रैवलिंग की, इसलिए इसको ग्लोबल ट्रॉटर भी कहा जाता है, वैश्विक भ्रमणकर्ता भी कहा जाता है। ये क्वेश्चन भी आता है, वाई दी इब्न बतूता, वाई डज दी इब्न बतूता नॉन एज दी ग्लोबल ट्रॉटर। तो उसका आंसर यही आएगा जो हमने डिस्कस किया है। ये देखिए, एक इमेज बनी हुई है रेहला की, जो इब्न बतूता ने लिखी है। इब्न बतूता वॉज वेरी मच एक्साइटेड to know the things which he was unfamiliar. He saw these two types of things in India. One was coconut and second one was pan. Okay. He saw these type of things first time. तो उसने कंपेयर भी किया कोकोनट को और पान को डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट से। उसने कोकोनट को कंपेयर किया माइंड से, हेड से, और पान को भी उसने अदर ऑब्जेक्ट से कंपेयर किया था। क्यों? क्योंकि बड़ा उत्सुक था वो ऐसी अननोन चीज़ों को जानने के लिए जो उसने पहले कभी नहीं देखी थी। ही रोट अ वेरी विविड डिस्क्रिप्शन अबाउट द इंडियन सिटीज़। ये 8 मार्क का क्वेश्चन आता है, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ। डिस्क्राइब द इब्न बतूताज अकाउंट अबाउट द इंडियन सिटीज़। ओके, तो उसने क्या लिखा इंडियन सिटीज़ के बारे में, वो हम डिस्कस करते हैं। फर्स्ट साइड हेडिंग आएगी, इब्न बतूता फाउंड इंडियन सिटीज़ द फुल ऑफ एक्साइटिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज़। ओके, सो you can write the first side heading that the Indian cities were having the full of opportunities. What does it mean? It means that all type of resources, all types of employment were available in Indian cities. If a person has some type of skill, they can easily get the money, easily get the employment in the cities. Second feature, densely populated. Okay, the Indian cities were densely populated and prosperous. Only sometimes they were disrupted by the wars and invasions. तो बहुत घने बसे शहर होते थे भारत के, उसके बारे में भी इब्न बतूता ने बताया है। थर्ड important thing he wrote about the Indian cities, that crowded streets and bright colorful markets. जैसे आज हम मार्केट देखते हैं इंडिया के, बहुत ज़्यादा भीड़ मार्केट्स में होती है। देयर वेयर सो मेनी शॉप्स आल्सो देयर इन मार्केट्स, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ लाइटिंग, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ डेकोरेशन वेयर डन इन द स्ट्रीट्स टू अट्रैक्ट द कस्टमर्स. सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ पैटर्न वाज अडॉप्टेड इन द मीडिएवल सिटीज़, स्पेशली दौलताबाद एंड दिल्ली. सो तीसरी विशेषता बताई उसने इंडियन सिटीज़ की कि इंडियन सिटीज़ क्राउड से भरी हुई होती थी और काफ़ी कलरफुल होती थी. फोर्थ पॉइंट व्हाट ही रोट अबाउट द इंडियन सिटीज़, दैट द बाजार्स ऑफ इंडियन सिटी वेयर द हब ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ इकोनॉमिक, सोशल एंड कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़. ओके, कैसे ये? आज आप देखिए, बहुत सारे बाज़ार ऐसे हैं जहाँ पर आपको मंदिर, मस्जिद साथ में मिल जाएगी. कई केसेस में तो आजू बाजू ही मिल जाती है. ठीक है, आप ये भी पाएंगे कि डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ प्लेस, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ड्रामाज और डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ कल्चरल प्रोग्राम्स आल्सो रन इन द मॉस्क एंड टेम्पल्स एज वेल एज. सो इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़ भी बाजार्स में रन होती हैं, ये हम सब जानते हैं. बाइंग एंड सेलिंग होती है. तो जो बाजार्स थे इंडियन सिटीज़ के, ये एक हब थे, एक सेंटर पॉइंट थे डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ इकोनॉमिक, सोशल और कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ की. दीज बाजार्स विल आल्सो प्रोवाइडिंग द अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ फॉर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ म्यूजिशियंस, सिंगर्स एंड अदर आर्टिस्टिक पर्सनस. फिफ्थ जो उसने लिखा इंडियन टाउन्स के बारे में, the Indian towns were very prosperous. Okay, and what was the reason of this prosperity? Because the Indian agriculture was very prosperous of that time. The Indian villages were able to provide the surplus production, because all we know that the land revenue was the main source of income of the Sultanate period till the British period also. So there were surplus production, so people were earning, and the people were able to earn extra money so that they can buy different types of things from the market. Sixth thing what he wrote about the Indian cities, the Indian cities were the center of trading activities. Okay, the items, the objects of the different types of Indian towns were high in demand in West Asia and Southeast Asia. So the cities like Dhaka, the Delhi, they were the center of the economic activity. So many trading activities were going on from these activities. Export import in cities से ज़्यादा होता था. Next point he wrote about the Indian cities, that Indian textiles was very much in demand, particularly cotton cloth, fine muslins, silk, brocade, and satin were in great in demand. Ibn Battuta informs us that certain varieties of fine muslin were so expensive that they could be worn only by the nobles and the very rich persons. तो देखिए आप, इंडियन कॉटन की, इंडियन मसलिन्स की, ये भी एक टाइप का कपड़ा होता है, उसकी बहुत हाई डिमांड थी साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में, वेस्ट एशिया में और अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में. सो इट वाज द डिटेल्ड डिस्क्रिप्शन गिवन बाय द इब्न बतूता अबाउट द इंडियन सिटीज़. ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. इब्न बतूता वाज आल्सो अमेज्ड बाय द यूनिक सिस्टम ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन ही फाउंड इन इंडिया. यूनिक सिस्टम ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन वाज दैट ऑफ पोस्टल सिस्टम. कैसे कि भारत में उस समय जो स्पाई होते थे, जो गुप्तचर होते थे, उसके थ्रू इन्फॉर्मेशन पहुंचाने का काम किया जाता था, और स्पाई के थ्रू इन्फॉर्मेशन बहुत जल्दी वन प्लेस टू अनदर प्लेस पहुंचती थी. इब्न बतूता वाज आल्सो अमेज्ड बाय द एफिशिएंसी ऑफ द पोस्टल सिस्टम which allowed merchants to not only send information and remit credits across long distance but also to dispatch goods required at short notice. So postal system was very much needed to send information, to send goods, and to send money also. The postal system was so efficient that while it took 50 days to reach Delhi from Sindh in the common time for the common man also, but the news reports of spies would reach the sultan through the postal system in just 5 days. अब आप सोचिए, जो कॉमन मैन को दिल्ली से सिंध जाने के लिए 50 दिन लगते थे, वहाँ पर स्पाई लोगों को सूचनाएं देने में केवल 5 दिन ही लगते थे. तो ये भी एक बहुत बड़ी विशेषता थी इंडिया की उस समय, जो इब्न बतूता ने अपने अकाउंट में लिखी है पोस्टल सिस्टम की. तो आज के मेन टॉपिक हमने डिस्कस किए. नेक्स्ट वीडियो में हम बर्नियर के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे. थैंक यू.